It is time to expand minds through movies, TV, sports, and flicks. It is time to boldly go where no podcast has gone before. It is time for the Captain Talks Flicks.
The Captain Talk Flicks.
Welcome to the Captain Talks Flicks podcast. I'm your host, the Captain Cortez, aka Mr. Love, and this is where we talk flicks. I welcome the podcast where me, the Captain, talks about movies, TV, sports, flicks, anything you can see on a tube or a screen. I like to get on here and give my unique perspective, because after 47 years of being on planet Earth, I've developed a new perspective about these movies, TV, sports, and flicks, and I like to get on and tell about it. Because just maybe you care. And according to the stats, it looks like you do care. I want to give a big shout out to the Philippines. Got some plays over in the Philippines this past week. Gracias, gratitude, todo raba. And Philippines, I heard last week you guys hosted the Basketball World Cup. And apparently, in the Philippines, you guys love basketball, which is very cool because basketball is cool. So anyways, thanks for listening. And just FYI, back in the day I went to school to radio DJ, but I never got a job. I think I never got a job because I just didn't have the focus. If I would have had the focus, maybe that would enable me to become a radio DJ. But it didn't. And it allowed me to become the greatest podcast in the Matrix. Something to debate, might be true, might not be true. But I said it on the internet, so it's gotta be true, right? Because everything on the internet is facts, not facts, true, false, propaganda, fake news, and matrix, pens, papers, markers, feathers, papel. I don't know. I didn't make the internet. Ask the people that made the internet. So when you're lying, just be worried, just watch out. Anyways, I can ramble all day, but it won't. Let's get right to the podcast. But first, a word from our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes I rap. And a while back, I rapped again. I dropped a song called HCD. This is my experimental spoken word style rap, where I rap my unique rap style over ambient spacey beats. And I guarantee you, when you listen to HCD, you've never heard a track like it in your life. So if you want to hear some unique, interesting, crazy rap creation I made, I'll put the link below to HCD. Check it out. Now, let's get on the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am back again. And it's a beautiful day outside today. A couple days ago, it was not. Now, you might have heard over in the Midwest United States, in Michigan to be exact, we had some crazy storms. It was this past Thursday. And it was absolute madness. The wind was like 80 miles per hour, bro. I could hear it outside my house, bro. I could hear the rain. I could hear the wind. It was absolutely craziness. I was like, bro, it is wild out there. And when I went outside the next morning and drove around my city, it was chaotic, bro. There was trees everywhere. There was like broken this, broken that. This was leaves all over the place. The power was out. My internet was out. It was just like absolute craziness. Wild, bro. But we're safe. I'm safe. The captain's all right. Captain's healthy and living. It's beautiful. Just had to go without internet for a few days. You know, minor discomfort. You know, I'm glad I'm all right. I believe the majority of people in my neighborhood are all right too. I don't believe there was any injuries. You know, thank goodness. Just some down trees, some down power lines. Everybody is safe. But now the storm is over. And now it's sunny outside. I got some chili cooking on the slow cooker again. Smells really good, smelling up the house. And it is time to podcast. And ladies and gentlemen, this week, I'm going back down the rabbit hole of the great game, espionage, spy vs. spy. And I got to see the show called Special Ops Lioness, Wish the Fight Away. So now it's time to get into Special Ops Lioness, Wish the Fight Away. But before I do that, a couple things. First of all, there will be spoilers. And second of all, I do own some shares in the parent company of Paramount Plus. I just want to be clear and transparent to let you know. Now that I told you that, let's get into Special Ops Lioness, Wish the Fight Away. Ladies and gentlemen, the rabbit hole of espionage is deep. Now, I've seen a million, trillion, billion, quadzillion spy movies, TV shows, read books, and they all go down the same path, a lot of them. They all show the agent and the case officer, or the asset and the handler. Basically, that relationship is explored quite a bit in everything I've consumed as far as when it comes to the espionage spy world. But this particular depiction of that world is absolutely magnificent. This episode, we got to see what was going on in Cruz's head. And it wasn't nice. Cruz is conflicted. Cruz was abused. Cruz has no friends. Cruz has never had that kind of love. And now she has the Mark giving her some of that love and affection and companionship. They're hanging out like buddies. They're watching movies together. They're breaking bread. They're eating. Like she's feeling companionship like she's never felt. But she never felt that. And someone gives her a little bit of that. And she starts to like her. Who wouldn't? If you've been deprived for such a long time of those things, and if someone gives it to you, and you're not used to that, yeah, it's going to feel good. And you're going to want more of that. And you're going to start to kind of fall for that. And we see that in the show. But the problem with that is, this is not an ordinary situation. This is not the ordinary world, bro. This is not just people just talking, hanging out, hooking up. This is about national security, bro. She was a Marine and she was taught to be a certain way, to handle things in a certain way, to go ahead and handle business so the United States can do better. Not just the United States, but the world. Because there's a problem with terrorism globally that is destabilizing the world. It's not nice for not just the United States, but for everybody. They're disrupting the flow of society, bro. We don't need all this damage and crazy things going on. So it's Cruz's job to try to stop that. But the problem is, the Mark, which is going to give her access to this terrorist guy, she's starting to like her. She's starting to have feelings. Like I said last episode, when it's time to do the business, and it's time to make the hard calls, it is time to do what you're here to do, can you do it? Can you put away these newfound feelings? If I love her, I like her a lot, we're having so much fun, she's my buddy, she's my friend, I never had that, she makes me feel good. Oh, I'm so conflicted. It's just like, I don't know what to do. Like, bro, can you put that away, Cruz? Can you put that to the side? I understand you're feeling those feelings. I understand you're feeling that love. You know, she had to get away from the Mark, and then she had to go talk to Joe and say, Joe, I can't do this. Joe, this is too tough. Joe, this is too hard. Bro, my mind's a big blender. It's a mush. I'm confused. And then Joe sits down like a coach. And Joe tells her, hey, remember who you are. Remember the mission. Remember what you're here to do. Remember the goal. Remember what we're trying to do. Remember what we're trying to achieve. Joe is basically a coach. Now, I've seen case officers handle assets, agents many times, read books about it. But this particular portrayal, it made me feel like Joe was acting like a coach or a motivational speaker. The way she was talking to Cruz. Like Cruz is having doubts. Like Cruz is like Michael Jordan. Cruz is like LeBron James. Cruz is like some superstar athlete. And then Joe's the coach, like, hey, remember who you are. Remember what you're here to do. Go out there and play the game right. What I found very interesting is the words that Joe was speaking to Cruz. Like, I've had that conversation in my head. Not quite exactly, but similar to it. Many times. On the path of what I'm trying to achieve as a human being, there will be doubts, not just in the world of espionage and terrorism, not just in that world, but in general, when you navigate your path of life and you're trying to achieve something and do better and accomplish things, there will be those doubts, like Cruz sitting on the couch there talking to Joe. It's not going to be quite like that, most likely, but there will be those doubts. And you're going to need a Joe in your head to talk you up and say, hey, bro, keep doing this. Remember who you are. Keep going. Keep doing this. Because that's exactly what I thought when I saw it. Now, I'm no spy. I'm not in the espionage world. But like I said, trying to achieve, I've had my mind speak like Joe to me to get me back on track. Because I felt like Cruz at times. Like, I can't do this. This is too much. I get my mind's not right. It's all over the place. Had that. Now, this is in my pretty mundane, easy world. Now, if you go ahead and raise the stakes like in the show, the world of espionage, the world of terrorism, the world of missions, Marines, military, where the stakes are so high, like, I can't even imagine what that even feels like. In my small part of the world where I'm at, when I have those feelings and thoughts, sometimes it's tough, and it's not even as deep or as important, or the stakes are so high like it is in this show. Like, I imagine the mental just must be excruciating. Monkey mind, as I like to say, coming at you like massively. Like dealing with identities, like you know who you are as a person, but then you gotta portray to be this other person, and you have to balance both. And it seems very complicated, right? Just in my small world, when I have to kind of deal with that kind of monkey mind, that kind of doubts, in my little easy podcast world where I mow lawns and do podcasts and exercise, right? Very easy compared to this. Like, and I feel that. Like, I can't even imagine that. And then Joe, the professional, she just has to talk her up. Like, come on, let's go. And you know, she seems very confident, Joe. But when she got home and she had to deal with her family and all that, she broke down and cried too. So this show is displaying like how complicated and complex that world could be. If this is true to life, I imagine that world probably is complicated. Maybe not as complicated as this hero show on TV. Maybe they hype it up, but there's gotta be some definitely mental, emotional complications while navigating that whole wilderness of mirrors, right? And there's also a scene in the show where they're talking to Cruz and she's like, yo, you're a Marine. You do these Marine things. You're in war. You do these things. Well, this game here is like that, but it's mostly in the, she don't say it, but it's mostly in the mind. And one additional thing, as I navigate life and do different things, the physical tasks seem to be easy for me. I can do physical. I can put my body through an immense amount or whatever. But sometimes the mental can be tough. And I read a quote a long time ago. Or I saw someplace. I read it somewhere, read in a book, saw a video about it or something. And it was saying something like, to paraphrase, everything is mental. Everything. It's all mental. Everything you do, it's all in the mind, bro. Your mind can push you past it or it can defeat you. And I think I read another quote or saying, I don't know if it's true or not, but I read it somewhere, I saw somewhere. It's like, your mind will fail before your body fails. I don't know where I read that. I've seen it somewhere. I read so much stuff. I see so many things. It's hard to remember where I got it from, but that's somewhere and I've seen it over and over again. That basically your mind will fail before your body fails. And I believe there's probably some truth to that as well. So anyways, Special Ops Lioness is absolutely fantastic. We're going deep down the rabbit hole of espionage. We're seeing what happens when Cruz goes deep cover. And it's not easy. And she's not even done yet. She's in the 9th inning. And she's about to end this game. And she's got to do certain things to finish this game out. And is she going to be able to close this game? That is the question. We're going to see next episode. I think next episode was the last episode. Can she keep it together? And can she close this game out the way she's supposed to? Or is she going to fail? Will she flip? A lot of times in these books and these movies too, the person will flip. When I say flip, go from one side to the other side. That's happened in shows as well. That's happened in books as well. But my feeling about Cruz from everything I've seen in the show is that Cruz has what it takes to complete this mission. And being who she is and where she came from and that mindset she has, I think she's going to be able to push through those feelings, push through that perceived love or good feeling she's got and do the job, do the task, right? She's a Marine, bro. Come on, she's a Marine. I've heard a lot about Marines, and from what I heard about Marines, they can do this kind of work, bro. That's what I've heard. You know, I've never been one, so I can't say 100%. But from what I've read, what I've seen, what I've heard, yeah, she can handle that business. Yeah, maybe you falter, maybe the mind get a little monkey mind for a little bit, but I think she'll be able to pull it out and do what she gotta do. So anyways, fantastic show. If you have not seen Special Ops Lioness, it's one of the best shows on Paramount Plus, other than Star Trek. It's not quite better than Star Trek, because you know I love Star Trek. But no disrespect to Special Ops Lioness, it's one of the standout shows on Paramount Plus. And I hope they do a season 2, and I hope they do a season 3, and I hope they do a season 4, because I like to see this story continue. So anyways, get to the end of Special Ops Lioness. And it's a fantastic show. If you've not seen it, go check it out. So this concludes the podcast. And until next time, we'll see. Toughness is in the soul and spirit, not in muscles. Alex Carruss. Until next time, it's Captain Peace.
The Captain Talks Flicks.